For nearly half a century, Voyager has drifted through the cold black of interstellar space. A lonely traveler more than 12 billion miles from home. It left Earth in 1977, a tiny car-sized machine launched on a Titan IIIe rocket, built in an age of slide rules and analog circuits. It is still alive for decades. It's been our farthest messenger, a silent witness to the edge of the sun's domain. But in July 2023, something impossible happened. A signal came back, a heartbeat, repeating every 7.44 seconds. At first, no one believed it. The Deep Space Network saw it buried deep in the static, too regular to be random, too deliberate to ignore. Engineers thought it had to be a glitch, maybe feedback in the antenna array or interference from solar wind. But when they decoded the waveform, they found something stranger: geometric recursion, patterns folding into themselves, like a mathematical echo. It was as if something out there wasn't just reflecting Voyager's transmission, or rewriting it. Suddenly, the border between the solar system and interstellar space didn't seem like a wall anymore. It felt like a veil, and whatever was behind that veil had just answered back. Voyager wasn't supposed to make it this far. It was designed for a 5-year mission to visit for planets and die quietly afterward. But it didn't die. It kept going, crossing the orbits of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, capturing the first close-up glimpses of alien worlds, Jupiter's violent storms, Saturn's rings of ice, Uranus's strange tilt, Neptune's deep blue methane clouds. By the time it reached the outer edge of the solar system, it had already rewritten our understanding of the planets. Then, in November 2018, at 119 astronomical units from the Sun, Voyager crossed the heliopause, the boundary where the Sun's influence ends and the galaxy begins. Out there, the solar wind fades into the pressure of interstellar plasma. The stars themselves are brighter than our sun's reach. Every whisper of data now takes over 16 hours to reach Earth, and yet, despite the silence of space, Voyager still speaks, a faint, rhythmic voice in the dark. Then came July 21st, 2023, a small mistake, a 2-degree misalignment, turned triumph into dread. A single command, uploaded with an outdated parameter file, nudged Voyager's high-gain antenna just slightly off target. On Earth, that's nothing. But at 12 billion miles, it's catastrophic. The familiar stream of data vanished. The Deep Space Network fell silent. Inside NASA's mission control, engineers didn't panic. They analyzed. Line by line, they traced the fault, realizing the spacecraft had done exactly what it was told. The error wasn't in Voyager. It was in us. The antennas beam missed Earth by a fraction of a degree, enough to turn the world's most distant explorer into a ghost. Yet every system on board kept running. The gyros, the instruments, the radiation sensors, all still active. Voyager was still out there, transmitting blindly into the dark, its heartbeat signals still pulsing through the void. But this time, something was different. RF specialists combing through deep space spectra noticed a faint, low-frequency anomaly embedded in Voyager's carrier wave. Every 7.44 seconds, a harmonic peak rose and faded, perfectly timed, perfectly stable. It didn't shift with the probe's rotation. It ignored every command. They ran diagnostics, reboots, noise-blasting tests. The pulse wouldn't go away. Voyager's internal clocks showed no drift. Power levels were normal, yet the pulse kept beating, like a coded whisper from beyond the craft. That's when the room fell silent. Because for the first time, the data didn't look like a malfunction. It looked like a message. Something, or someone, had reached back, and it had used Voyager to do it. Something out there was changing Voyager's voice, not distorting it, not scrambling it, weaving into it, like space itself had begun writing its own message through the probe. At first, engineers searched for a fault, maybe a cosmic ray strike, maybe interference in the plasma beyond the heliopause. But the deeper they looked, the less sense it made. The anomaly wasn't random. It was organized. The first CLIS Deep Space Network pulled raw carrier logs from July 2023 and ran them through every modern decoder in NASA's archive. Nothing worked. So they went back, way back, to the original 1970s legacy decoders, the same ones used during Voyager's first planetary encounters. Bit by bit, data forensics experts started rebuilding the corrupted segments. What they found wasn't static. It was structure, binary markers repeating at exact intervals. When mapped visually, those bits aligned into a 6-sided lattice, a hexagonal pattern, repeating endlessly, layer upon layer, smaller hexagons nested inside larger ones. like a fractal snowflake built out of mathematics. Every fold mirrored the last with mechanical precision. This wasn't telemetry. It wasn't noise. It was design. The deeper they mapped it, the more deliberate it looked. The data wasn't just being corrupted. It was being rewritten in a way that preserved symmetry and recursion, almost as if the signal itself had become a living code. The timeline problem then came a new anomaly: time. Every packet of data carried an embedded timestamp, but these stamps no longer matched Voyager's internal clock. They weren't offset by any known delay, not the 16-hour round trip to Earth, not the probe's transmission cycle. The differences were irregular, slipping in and out of phase, as if the signal were being reconstructed in another timeline, and then set back slightly out of sync. When engineers aligned the timestamps, they discovered something chilling. Each offset followed the same 7.44-second interval, the exact rhythm of the mysterious heartbeat. The probe wasn't just sending data. It was responding to something, or something was responding through it, a field, not a wall. Within weeks, a radical new theory began circulating among mission analysts. Maybe the heliopause, the so-called edge of the solar system, wasn't a simple boundary after all. Maybe it was active, a region of space dense enough or structured enough to interact with electromagnetic signals, not just reflect them, but modify them. The raw carrier log supported it. The corrupted packets weren't chaotic. They were being shaped, like Voyager's transmissions were passing through a veil that was listening. Some analysts described it as an interstellar membrane, a field capable of echoing transmissions, maybe even influencing onboard systems. Others whispered about resonance, a feedback loop between human technology and whatever physics ruled that frontier. Inside NASA's control rooms, the mood shifted from curiosity to control. Access to the telemetry was suddenly restricted. Engineers who worked the signal for years were quietly reassigned. Public data updates slowed for the first time in Voyager's long history. Part of its transmission stream was classified internally. The event was labeled Vita X, a code with no official meaning, but one everyone understood carried weight. Prime numbers in the dark. Weeks later, timing analysis revealed something even stranger. The 7.44-second pulse wasn't arbitrary. It followed prime multiples, mathematical intervals seen before only in a few of the most mysterious cosmic signals ever detected. The 1977 WOW signal and certain fast radio bursts, the odds of that being coincidence were almost zero. Theories split the scientific community in two. Some argued it was a natural phenomenon, exotic plasma turbulence, magnetic resonance, maybe a new form of cosmic noise. Others saw purpose, precision, pattern. If the field beyond the heliopause was structured, even aware, then every command we sent, every pulse of energy, might be a conversation. And that raised a question no one was ready to answer. Should humanity reply, or stay silent, hiding our fragile voice in the vast dark, pretending we hadn't heard the knock on the cosmic door? For now, Voyager drifts on, a single spark at the edge of forever, caught between the known and the unknowable. Its heartbeat still pulses every 7.44 seconds, and somewhere in that rhythm, the universe might be whispering back,